The summer sun burned high over the endless cornfields of rural Nebraska, turning the air thick and heavy. 10-year-old Ethan Matthews stood barefoot in the dry grass, sweat dripping down his forehead as he practiced his soccer kicks. 48, he whispered, eyes locked on the ball. Soccer was more than just a game to Ethan. It was his escape. Out here, miles from the nearest neighbor, it was the only thing that made him feel like a normal kid. He stepped back, took a deep breath, and swung his leg. The moment his foot struck the ball, he knew. Too hard. The ball soared high into the sky, spinning wildly, straight toward the one place he was never supposed to go.
The barn.
Time seemed to slow.
Crash.
The sound of shattering glass echoed across the farm. Ethan froze. His heart began pounding in his chest as he stared at the old red barn in the distance, the forbidden place his father had warned him about countless times. "No one goes near that barn," his father had said.
Ever.
Ethan swallowed hard. His soccer ball, his only one, was inside. He glanced toward the driveway. Empty. His father wasn't home. A small wave of relief washed over him, followed by something else. Curiosity. Slowly, step by step, Ethan walked toward the barn. The structure loomed larger with every step, its faded red paint peeling, its windows dusty and cracked. It had always felt wrong, like it was hiding something. As he reached the door, Ethan noticed something strange. The padlock was open. His hand trembled as he pushed the door. It creaked loudly, echoing into the silence. Inside, the air was cooler. Dust floated through beams of sunlight. The smell of hay filled his nose, mixed with something faintly unpleasant. Ethan stepped inside. His eyes scanned the barn. Old equipment. Stacks of hay. Shadows stretching across the wooden floor. Then, he saw his ball. Relief flooded through him. He hurried forward, ready to grab it and leave. But then, he noticed something else. Behind a stack of feed bags, a small bed, made of hay. Ethan froze. And then he saw her. A little girl, curled up on the makeshift bed, sleeping. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. She looked dirty.
Weak.
Her blonde hair tangled, her pink dress faded and worn. She didn't belong here. No child did. He took a slow step closer. The floor creaked. Her eyes snapped open.
Fear.
Pure, overwhelming fear filled her face as she pressed herself against the wall. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "Hi," Ethan whispered softly. "I'm Ethan." No response. She just stared at him, trembling. "I'm not gonna hurt you," he said, taking a step back. Still nothing. Only fear. And then,
the sound.
A tractor engine in the distance. Ethan's blood ran cold. His father. The girl's eyes widened in terror. She grabbed a thin blanket and pulled it over herself like she was trying to disappear. And in that moment, Ethan understood. She wasn't afraid of him. She was afraid of his father. Without another word, Ethan turned and ran. Out of the barn. He shut the door quickly, trying to act normal as the tractor approached. His heart hammered in his chest. Moments later, his father, Frank, climbed down from the tractor. His eyes locked onto Ethan. Then the broken window. "What the hell did you do?" Frank snapped. Ethan swallowed. "My ball, it was an accident," he said quickly. Frank's jaw tightened. "You go inside?" "No." Ethan lied. A long pause. Frank stared at him. Then finally, "I'll deal with it later," he muttered. "You stay away from that barn." Ethan nodded, but his mind wasn't on the barn anymore. It was on the girl. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The image of her terrified eyes wouldn't leave his mind. From his window, he watched the barn under the moonlight. Then, movement. His father, walking toward the barn, carrying something. Ethan's heart began racing again. He slipped out of bed, quietly crept outside, and followed. From the barn door, he heard voices. His father's. Angry. "You should be grateful." Frank's voice slurred. "No one else is looking for you." A soft sob followed. Ethan's chest tightened. That was it. He couldn't ignore it anymore. He ran back to the house, his hands shaking. He picked up the phone, dialed 3 numbers. "There's a girl in our barn," he whispered. "My dad, he's keeping her there." Then he hung up. Minutes felt like hours. Ethan lay in bed, pretending to sleep, until flashing red and blue lights filled his room. The police had arrived. From the stairs, Ethan watched as a deputy spoke to his father. There was a report, the officer said calmly. There's nothing in that barn, Frank snapped. Ethan's heart pounded. This was his moment. He stepped forward. I called, he said. Silence filled the room. There's a girl in there. His father's eyes burned with rage. But the deputy noticed everything. The fear, the tension, the truth. Moments later, they walked to the barn. Frank resisted, argued, but it was too late. When the door opened, the truth came out. The girl was found.
Weak.
Malnourished, but alive. Frank was arrested that night, taken away in handcuffs. And as the ambulance doors closed, the girl looked at Ethan. For just a moment, her eyes filled with something new.
Hope.
The next morning, everything had changed. The barn stood silent, its secrets gone. Ethan sat on the porch beside his mother. You did the right thing, she whispered. Ethan looked out at the fields. He didn't feel like a hero. He just knew one thing. Sometimes, doing the right thing is the scariest thing in the world, but it can also save a life.